Hello, I'm a second year PhD student, and right now it's November, so our school has been online since March, which is 8 months, 8 long months. So in this video, I want to talk about what are the pros and cons of doing your PhD online during quarantine. And so that we end on a happy note, I'm gonna do the cons first and then do the pros after. So first off, I think it's the most debilitating con, I'd say, and that is not being able to interact with other students. So in math particularly, I think if you just try to do math by yourself, it's gonna go really slowly. Before lockdown, our school had this graduate library and people had their offices or desks there, but there was also like a communal table. And sometimes people would come work there or just drop by for a bit, chat, say, I'm working on this, like, what do you think? I have this problem. Do you think I can solve it this way? And then people would discuss the math, and then you can see your mistakes more clearly like that, and also just get the insight of someone else. And while being on campus, this could happen all in a natural way. But now, due to COVID, when everyone's just at home, if you want to discuss stuff, you have to plan a certain time to meet. Like, sometimes I'll text my questions to my friends, but it's not the same as like actually talking about it in real life. And I'm quite lucky in the fact that my partner is also a PhD math student, so we can talk about our work together. But if I didn't have that, I feel like I'd be progressing much slower than I am. The second con is I find learning through Zoom seminars much harder than learning through chalk talks. So in math, people like to present in seminars, typically using the chalkboard instead of using a PowerPoint, although some people do use PowerPoints. But when you're presenting on the chalkboard, you're writing everything that you're talking about, and it slows the pace down, so you have time to think about what the speaker is saying and writing down. Whereas now, a lot of people have just been using like pre-written notes, and as a result, the material goes by really quickly, and most of the time, I don't know what's going on. I can't keep up. It's too fast for me. And I think a lot of students feel that way. And I also just feel harder to pay attention during Zoom seminars because everyone's just like this little tiny rectangle on your screen, and it's not the same as being in the same room. I had to present one time in our algebra and geometry seminar over Zoom, and it just felt really weird. I can't tell if people are following my talk. I don't know. It's really strange just presenting to a computer and knowing if it's going well or not. So another con I have is it's harder to get going at the start of the day, whereas before, you wake up, you walk to school, okay, you're there, you're in your office, you're in the mindset to work, whereas this way, you wake up, you're at home, you're always at home. It's sometimes like I feel lazy and I just end up sitting on my couch drinking my morning coffee too long, and then it's like 11 a.m. and I haven't done anything. Although to combat this, I've started going on a morning walk after I have my coffee and breakfast, and it's kind of like I'm walking to school, and it helped me a little. As my friend said, it tricks my brain thinking I'm going to school. So another con related to that is it's hard to make a clear distinction between your work time and your resting time. So this goes like two ways for me. Either I'm getting pretty lazy and I don't do that much the whole day because I'm at home and there's lots of fun things to do at home and lots of easy things to do, like watch TV or read my book or play Switch or whatever. And the other way, sometimes, you just work all day, all evening, it's nighttime, and then I feel so tired, and then the next day I'm just burned out. It's easier when you go to school and you're there for like 6 to 10 hours or whatever you do, and you go home and you can relax. And also to do with working at home. So at school I have an office. It's a shared office, but it's still great, and this office has its own chalkboard, so that's great for doing computations. I bought an iPad since lockdown just so I'm not wasting like so much paper doing these little side computations and stuff. But I still, as a mathematician, I really, really like chalkboards, so I do miss those. And I think maybe it's not the best thing to have in your home from all the dust and stuff, but chalkboards are greatly missed. And to do with buying my iPad, a lot of students have had this problem where we're just thrown into this online environment, but how are you supposed to do TA work through the computer? unless you have some sort of writing tablet. It's not really possible otherwise. So lots of people are just forced to buy some electronics that they have to use now. And it's quite expensive. You know, as grad students, you make like barely any money. You're basically at the poverty line. So it's a lot to just have to buy your own iPad or tablet. So that's kind of one I was a little bit upset about, and so were a lot of other students. Okay, I don't know what number we're at now, but I have 3 more points for cons, and then we'll get to the happy stuff. I don't know if everyone's like this, but for me, I've been physically like really inactive. Before this, you know, I have to walk to school. There's a gym at the school, which I was using pretty regularly. It was a nice way to break up my day. But now I don't really work out. I did go jogging a little bit, but I have like a bad knee, so that's not really good. And I always feel self-conscious working out in my apartment because people live under me and I'm worried I'm just banging on their ceiling and being annoying. Although I'm sure obviously you can work out at home, but I think it's a little harder to have the motivation when you're always just in the same space. And I'd like to add, my apartment is tiny, so to work out at home, I have to move my coffee table into the hallway and then have this like little small space I can work out in, but it's really not optimal. And second to last point is, I don't know if this will impact me so much as I'm only in second year, but people who are graduating this year, there's significantly less academic jobs due to COVID. So I really feel for these people. It's already hard enough to find an academic job in mathematics, and now due to this, it's just even harder, and it's a little bit discouraging. And my final con is just, you know, general loneliness. I'm not a person who like loves to socialize all the time, but I do like to see people around. I like to be in a space and see someone else over there like doing their own work or whatever. And if you're always by yourself or just with one other person, it gets a little lonely. So now that we've gone through like the depressed mode stuff, let's look at the pros. So there's some good things that came out of this. So the first one is I can make really good coffee at home. At school, I don't have to buy coffee because the grad students will pool like $5 a month and buy like a big bag of coffee, but we just use this drip coffee machine, and the coffee we buy that's affordable just tastes kind of bad. But at home I make Turkish coffee, which is excellent. Like maybe that and mocha pot are like my favorite types of coffee. So that's a good plus side. And another one is spending less money on food and drinks. So since you don't have to plan ahead to bring your lunch and whatever, you know, you're always just, or at least I am, I'm not really buying takeout food right now except for pizza like once in a while. So I find I'm saving like a lot of money on like takeout food when I used to buy lunches at school if I forgot to bring my lunch or whatever. So that's kind of nice. The third point is, as a grad student, at least you have financial security. So a lot of people have unfortunately been really financially impacted by this pandemic. They've lost their job, or they've had significantly smaller hours or whatever. But luckily as grad students, even though we have not much money, it's a consistent amount of money. So that is a positive thing. This one is maybe, number 4 is maybe just me, but I've been washing my hair less because I don't really see other people. I think it's helped my hair health, so that's a nice thing. Pro number 5 is you can live with your family if you want because you are just doing everything online. So people have been saving rent money like that. Like one of my friends moved back with her family, so that's a lot of money saved, which is positive. And I know some people just miss their families when they're at grad school, so it's nice that they can be able to spend more time with their family this way. And final pro is channel. I think I would be really shy vlogging at school. Only 2 people in my program know I do this. I'm afraid everyone else would roast me, so maybe eventually when things go back, I'll have more confidence. But I'm happy that I can just do this at home and not be as shy about it. So those were 9 cons and 6 pros. And that's consistent with how I feel. I really wish everything gets resolved soon. I know it probably won't be, but I love being in the department, and I'm sad the people who are in 4th year, it's their last year, and I'm sad because I won't really get to interact with them much, and I think it's not the ideal way to have your final year of graduate school, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed these thoughts, Let me know your pros and cons if you have any. Or if you're not in grad school but doing something else, what are the pros and cons for you? Do you have access to your school? Do you have to be at home? I know some people still can go to their office and I'm jealous of them, but okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.